Okay, 5 o'clock.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mike, no offense, but are you supposed to be wearing your weapon in a government building?
Wear my weapon anyway, sir.
Can you?
Yes, sir. I
Alright.
50 state qualified to carry this weapon, and I do.
Just asking.
Yeah.
Board meeting order. Are there any adjustments to the agenda?
Just the omission of the one.
We're not, we do F.
Yeah,
So executive session F.
was it?
I've looked over the prior meeting minutes and they seem to be in order. Make a motion to approve them. Second. All in favor? So the treasurer's warrant. Do we have because they have a policy though, don't they, regarding alcohol,
On the job, yes.
but not training?
If you're not at now the question comes up, were you at the event? Does that count as when you were working, or does it say after hours? But if you'd like to,
I'm assuming.
if you'd like to
breakfast
visit
and
the, if you'd like to visit the,
lunch and dinner.
if you'd like to visit the, does it count at all, anytime?
Mhm.
And doesn't matter what time it is, you can always pull that back out and say, I don't care what time of day it is, we don't pay for that,
Mhm.
you know.
There's more than one, there's at least two
No.
or three.
So those can be pulled back out.
Yeah, but
Right, so should we?
No, there's actually more than three.
We table the warrant until we figure that out?
No, you can say we'll hold, that's just all the card services.
Mhm.
That we can pull those particular charges back out, not pay for those charges, but we can pull that whole piece out, not send that check out. You know, and reconfigure that piece.
Okay, with the exclusion of that, I make a motion to accept the treasurer's warrant.
Second.
All in favor? We have a new business opportunity, shellfish opportunity at Gordon's Wharf.
Well,
I assume that's why you're here.
that is why I'm here.
can me.
And actually, I met with the Sullivan Town Board on Sunday.
I remember the Shellfish Committee.
Well, Shellfish Committee, excuse me. Gooseboro had a shellfish lab, and the storm of 23 I've generated didn't stand the water up to the top of it. And we were gonna redo it. And the problem is there that we were growing green crabs more than we were growing clams.
Oh,
And so we decided not to do it. And then I had an idea that maybe we could use the Gordon's Wharf House, because back in the day, Helen had lots of tanks in there. And I know that the town had agreed to lease Mike Briggs the basement to put his oysters in.
Mhm.
He just never did. So I don't know, a month or so ago, back at town meeting, I approached Gary. He was sitting beside me at town meeting, and I approached him and asked to pitch the idea of what he thought about it. And then Graham sat on the other side of me, and he was the other representative to the Sullivan Town Board. So we talked about it, and Gary and I, Ray, and Bill Zolik, who's my partner in Gooseboro, went up and looked at Gordon's Wharf. It would be a perfect spot. We'd be drawing deep, clean water. Basically, I've got to meet with the Sullivan Town Joint Board tomorrow night. I don't know if we're gonna do it or not, but I'd like to have permission to do it. So what happens is, I have 2 tanks that look like this. That's got clams in it. This is some of the clams that we grew from the size of the point on your ink pen to that.
wow.
We're trying to grow them to anywhere from 1/2 to 3/4 of an inch in length to put on the flats. They have to be put on the flats before they're any bigger than 3/4, because they have to be grown under pressure. So they have to be in the mud. So the proposal is that we put, like I said, I have 2 of those tanks. There's 14 spigots in each tank. each bucket, when we first put the seed in, will hold 100,000 clams.
Wow.
As they grow, we have to separate them, and I have everything to do it. There's different screen mesh sizes that you move them up to as they grow. Again, the advantage of doing it at Gordon's Wharf is we're drawing good, clean water, plenty of nutrients. I think they'll grow faster. The objective is to grow them from the end of April till October, hopefully to get them in that growth range. And plant them on the flats between Gooseboro and whatever Gooseboro puts in. If I buy 200,000, that's what I'm gonna put back. And if the Sullivan Town buys 200,000 or whatever, that's what they put back. We shut it down for the winter and then we do it again. So I'd like to have permission to at least go to the Sullivan Town joint board meeting tomorrow night and say, either I got permission to do it, the Gordon's Wharf or not.
Okay. What are some of the advantages for Sullivan to do this?
The advantages is that how many clam diggers are in the Sullivan Town? 60?
Yeah.
60 or 70 diggers, and some of them are from Sullivan. They're all from the 7 towns.
Mhm.
And the idea behind putting the clams back is the green crabs and the ribbon worms are devastating the clams and water temperature. Water's getting warmer. Down East Institute, Kyle Ruckman and Brian Field, Dr. Brian Beal, basically say that the soft shell clam is in danger if we don't do something. So there are those 3 things against it: climate change, the ribbon worms, and the temperature. So my philosophy is, when we've done this, we've made a lot of mistakes in doing it. The first year that I did it, I had a deep well pump that pumped 14 to 17 gallons a minute, and that ran 24/7. I now have a pump that would pump 80 gallons a minute to run 24/7. And it was costing us about $80 a month for electricity, which
That's the question I was gonna ask. So.
the two, whatever it is, of course, that was back in 22. So a person's gone up, so even if it's $100 a month, the 2 towns, the 7 town and Gooseboro would split the price for the electric. Any modifications we have to make in there, put the tanks in, electrical wise and all that stuff, we'll share the cost of that. And if we get permission from the town, we'll draw up an agreement between the 7 town board and the town of Gooseboro, and it will lay out those types of things. The other issue that I have, and I've already spoken to Gary about this, is that they have to be tended. And we had, in Gooseboro, I had 4 ladies that were between 70 and 80 years old that were tending those clams. They're very interested in coming up here and showing other people how to do it and help do it, but they're not gonna do it all the time like they did in Gooseboro. And that's something that Gary and I have discussed, and we're gonna look to see if we can find people to get trained to help do that. But it adds to the economy of the town of Sullivan. Sullivan, if you dig clams, you go to Dollar General, you spend the money, you go to Dunbar's, wherever. So, and it's helping the area diggers.
And this would all just be in the basement of that house.
We'll have a pump out on the end of the pier. I've got a pump house. And the pump will be down near the pier. Somewhere. We haven't decided yet.
Now, would you have to dig to keep that pipe from being exposed?
No, that can lay on the top of the ground. I got coils of pipe. It's all put together with couplings. We'll probably have to have more pipe to get, because it's a longer distance to run there than I was running before, but all it is it just couples together, and in the wintertime we'll take it up.
Where's the pump? I mean, what about power getting to it?
We'll have to run power to it.
So you have to run a cable.
Run a cable, and we'll just run the cable and bring it back the same way as we do the hose.
Right.
In fact, I might have enough wire that I had down to Bunkers Harbor.
Is that 220 or 110?
That's 220, because the 110 was costing us a lot more money to run that.
Right.
That submersible pump, and the 220 went to about $80 a month. And we knew that because we got meters for water temperature, we got meters for power usage.
And that'd all be above ground along the edge or something somewhere?
Yep, wherever we can get it. We first talked about putting it over towards the float, but then I had a conversation with Helen, and I've since talked to Gary. We may put it straight down and keep it on the edge of the bushes
Right, and you may get across the
That's
driveway.
and go out into the, down the side of the pier and out into the river.
That's the way I want it.
And then would that interfere with the historical display or?
This is, they might have to bury a little bit of it or
Right,
protect it a little bit to get it out of the way, but that's not a big deal. I represent Sullivan on the joint board. And actually, I became the alternate and Graham became the representative, but we've traded back again because he isn't around much right now. But when we were buying, when the town was looking to buy Gordon Floor, it's been about 2 years studying it before we did it. With people from throughout the community. And before pretty much strong rationale to do it. One was access to the water. There's almost no public access. There's absolutely no public access upstream of Jordan Bluff and only one downstream, and that's over in Hancock.
we got one public access up in North Sullivan. They took it. No, up North Sullivan, that's where, probably a quarter mile from the town line. Really, nobody knows about it, but it's there.
Oh, it's still right.
Yeah,
But that's the one straight across from the Sunset Road?
no, it's just up past the
No,
mountain.
North
top,
Sullivan,
North
down-
Sullivan.
down
It's like a
top.
40-foot right away, that's for sure.
Okay. But how much range is it for 40 feet?
Yes.
Well, the same thing with all the rest of it.
Right, right, at least it's access.
Yeah. But it was access to the water, historical site. And the other things they wanted to do was make sure that it was helping the environment and it was helping any local business and businessmen that needed to be. We wanted to make sure when we developed the plan for it, that the fishermen, the lobstermen, the clammers, whoever needed to use it to do their work, that's what we bought it for. So this fits really perfectly right in with the scheme, and I'm with Mike, and so is, I think, the joint, board. I have no problem believing that the joint board's gonna eat this right up.
Right.
Because what we're gonna end both, well, we're buying the clams now from Brian. And we'll buy them at a what, 25% of the cost or something like that?
For 100,000 clams, the size of the point on your ink pen is $700. For flat ready clams, which is anywhere from a 1/4 inch up to 3/8 of an inch, is like 4,000.
Wow.
So in those tanks, I can put 28 spigots of 100,000. Is that 2.8 million?
Yeah.
You can't do that because we've got to spread them out.
Yeah.
But I can still do 500,000 clams. And if you put 500,000 clams on the flats every year amongst Sullivan and Gooseboro in the 7 towns, it's gonna make a big difference in the clam, because the theory is that the green crabs, the predators can't eat every clam that's planted.
Mhm.
And Dr. Beal and the area biologist, that's the only thing we can go with.
Right.
Mike had a question.
Two questions. What's the net cost of the town on this and what's the infrastructure needed? Is that road gonna support? How many rigs you gonna be bringing down that road? Something like that. Those would be my questions if I was on the board. What's the net cost of the town? And then what the infrastructure requirements and the long-term cost of the town on maintenance for the thing.
Well, the infrastructure, the cost of the town is zero.
Okay,
And my truck and whatever vehicles, there's no more traffic down there than Friends of Taunton Bay when they have a thing down there. We may have a few vehicles.
but no big trucks.
No trucks.
That road is not in the best shape, so.
No trucks, just
Yep.
passenger vehicles. It'll be the volunteers that are working.
And volunteers, they plant the
And
clams?
Well-
How does that get done?
what will happen in the fall? I can't speak for the 7 town, but in Gooseboro, the diggers in the 7 town go and plant them. We planted, not last year, but the year before, we planted 139,000.
Would this impact the business that are renting from the town upstairs? Has the
They'll
conversation,
probably join us.
well, has a conversation been held with them first to see what their thoughts are on the thing? Cause they got the upstairs tank, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, Friends of Taunton Bay.
Friends of Taunton Bay.
So are they bought off on it?
without having knowledge of who wants to do anything, haven't approached them yet.
No. I would go talk to them, you know, if we,
Yeah,
This
We
was
might
the
need
second
to get
step.
some volunteers to do some of the work with it.
What about the impact of additional moisture to that building?
we'll put the humidifier in, whatever we gotta do to.
yeah, 'cause it's bad.
Which is expensive to run,
Huh?
which is expensive to run.
The building has, even without their activity, the building has extra moisture to begin with. So, if that goes ahead or not, you still have extra moisture in that building. The one thing that benefits is that people frequenting in and out and seeing what goes on can really help you mitigate what the problem is.
I did notice when we were over there was a couple of windows in the basement that you could open. We're only gonna be there from like April to October. The other positive sign of this is when I was doing it in Gooseboro, I was running all kinds of tours. I had I had teachers from all over the country that would come to Schoodic Institute, and they would come down there for 8 or 10 days and do projects. And the reviews, Gooseboro Shellfish Lab was #1. And all the things they did, I had people from California, I had people from everywhere who came. And I'm not a scientist, I've been in enforcement my whole life. And they say you are a scientist because you're doing this stuff, and to see what we were doing. The other thing that I say would benefit is we have schools in this community, there's the high school, middle school down here. No schools ever came to the Gooseboro Shellfish Lab for a field trip. Never. And that's bad.
Yeah.
If we could get it up here and get some students to come and see, maybe they would be interested in doing something. Either climbing, being a climb digger, because the climb diggers this year have made fantastic money. Or be some kind of scientist.
Have you ever approached the university up here?
No.
No.
Pull up on the Franklin
So
side.
The building the
Yeah.
town owns.
And then there's 7 towns that share all these costs.
Yeah.
So regardless if it was here, or elsewhere, we're still responsible for our 1/7.
Which means we'll be responsible for 1/7 of the cost.
But it's a good thing.
But no matter where it's located, we're gonna be responsible for 1/7.
I mean, it'd help us, we got a pack license, there's clams out there today, I mean, it's a no-lose situation. I found.
I anticipate that, well, it'd be 1/8 because there's 7 towns and then there's Gooseboro. But I anticipate that there isn't gonna be a whole lot of expenses. Like I say, I met with Dawn's the administrator for the town of Franklin. She was there the other night. And they were talking about money, and she figured if their share of the power bill was $100 a month. I mean, that's doable, but if you're splitting $100, that's $50 for Gooseboro and $50 for the 7 town, because their money all goes together.
Like, who owns the infrastructure of the tanks, is it themselves? Who owns the tank?
Gooseboro does.
Gooseboro does.
Everything is there. We built.
Is there a liability? Would there be a liability for the town?
You'd have to have insurance on it, but when I had insurance on the lab where it is now, it was less than $100 or something. It wasn't
A
bad.
month or a year?
Yeah,
A year,
because it's under your main municipal
right?
insurance. And that would be something you'd have to check, because it is a town building, but
And then some of these clams would be then planted here in Sullivan, right? Like,
what will happen is the 7 town will decide where to put clams. So this year they may put them in Sullivan, next year they may put them in Lemoyne, they may put them in Franklin. It depends, it also depends on how many clams you got.
Mhm.
I mean, if you've got 500,000, you can go and put some in a lot of communities.
So you don't divide them up, each town gets it every year?
No, what happens is. The conservation committee kind of has driven the conservation work, which includes seeding. I'd like to put a little more science in it, but, and we'll get there eventually. But. I'm trying to look at the areas that used to produce really well and they're not now. And manage those, and management includes. Closing them or opening them, with special rules like the. Down. This end of the Golders Bay now, they call it the Gong,
Right.
I never knew it was that. That's gotten hammered. For years, and now when we do open it. It's open with some special. Limit, like if the bridge is, you can only dig daylight, you can only dig. 6 days a week, no Sundays. And you can only dig. A bushel or 2 bushel a day or something like that. Because we have a habit of over digging and overfishing everything.
Who enforces it if you're up here by the bridge digging?
Be Mike Brochu.
No. Not brochure.
Brochu, however you say. Boucher, I don't know how to pronounce it.
Boucher. He's our warden now, and we actually have. A part-time warden working with him. So on heavy days, they can both be out there and somebody's always available. Which is kind of something new, but it's working very well.
If someone is clamming in Sullivan without a license and they get stopped by the warden and they have to pay a fine, does that money go directly to the state or does Sullivan get a share?
Keeps going back to the town.
It goes back to the 7 time. We just want to sub it, it's like being a shareholder in a corporation, the 7 towns each put the money in. But that isn't all of the money that majority of money raised is license fees. And don't count on a lot of money from fines because half of them get thrown out of court and. Half of them,
We're working on that.
yeah, I know. But we don't need to get into that, but
You didn't use.
the 7 towns is really working on. I'm a little. And like Mike says, the predators and the weather. Are really kind of. Hurting the industry bad, and we need to do the things we can do to. To at least keep it alive for, till I leave, I love playing.
Yeah.
I'm open to this. 7 town member. Meet.
The joint board meets. About 7 times a year,
You know when the next time is?
Wednesday,
Tomorrow
tomorrow at 5:30.
Here?
No, it's our Franklin Town Office,
Where?
Franklin Town Office.
Well, they did recently came downside to this, sounds like cost is a wash.
Win-win situation.
Franklin Town Office.
Alright, I make a motion to allow him to go talk to the people and say that we're okay with it if they're okay with it.
And second,
All in favor?
This is a discussion without promise of any money,
Right,
spent,
it's just
right?
discussion.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Town manager report?
Salt shed is full. I
Yeah.
got filled out the sheet this week. Also cemeteries are gonna close to car traffic as of November 1st. There'll be something in the crier about that. Cause we've had that incident last year in Gordon Cemetery where the car went in. And the tow truck went in, couldn't get the car out.
Knocked over
The skid steer had to go in to get to get both of them out.
so who paid for that?
They're working on that now.
Yeah, cause the guy should pay for it.
Yeah. They reached out to DC Towing because that's who said they would.
They
you
were
know.
right to Stones, but
How did
Yeah.
it get stuck in November?
he was in there walking his dog.
It wasn't November, it was a little later on, but the sign was up and they were in there.
Okay.
In there walking his dog.
Go right by the sign that says. Foot traffic only after November 1st.
Right, you think,
Lots of people drive by the Taunton Bay Road sign that says 24,000 pounds all the time and they ignore it, so.
okay. And then,
And had the Northern Light quarterly meeting this week and working on reconfiguring the contract here because we served them a lot more.
there we go. We do 8 out of 17 per second.
Yeah.
Which is
We're serving them pretty consistent, so
half of 5 energy.
Yeah.
So we're definitely doing more than our fair share.
so being able to So serving them in that capacity. And they still get paid contract. So all those other towns that we report to, that we cover them on,
Mhm.
they get paid when they don't show up. So I think we should get paid
Yeah,
when we show up for them. That's what we're working at.
yeah, absolutely. And then I was seeing. What's this on the,
Yeah, so their agenda item now is that.
yeah, it said Sullivan EMS may disregard Northern Light if they're able to transport.
So it used to be that if we were there and Northern Lights showed up, it'd be like, oh, no, we'll take it.
Yeah.
It's like,
yeah,
no,
that's
we're
what they
here.
did, and then they don't get money for it.
Yeah, so the whole, we're here, now it's, no. If you're there, you can transport.
Mhm.
So that was a directive that came from Northern Light. So, because it's just not fair that we turn out and we don't, and Northern Light gets paid, and if we get turned away, we get nothing out of it. That's not right. Especially when it's not even our town,
Mhm.
Trenton, Lemoyne, the rest of them.
So that was on the agenda. Was it approved?
They are still working on what they're gonna do. I'm waiting on the follow-up to the follow-up meeting. They appointed a new CEO this week at Northern Light, so we'll see where things go from here.
Okay. If that goes through, that could be good for our EMS folks.
That could
Well, I mean-
be a cost reduction in what EMS
Yeah.
costs.
Exactly.
I was explaining on the ambulance service that you're swapping between Northern Light and us, right? Week for week, or is that changed?
No.
now?
No,
No, it never was. Northern Light is contracted for during the daytime, and we run, Sullivan EMS runs at night. But there is a lot of instances where Northern Light can't go to Franklin during the day, and they call for backup. And who do they call? They refer to that list as far as who's second to call, and they call.
second choice at a time.
How long have we been covering nights? Forever?
For a long time.
Okay.
So, but yeah, all these little towns, we go, Waltham is one of the ones we're second to.
Yep. Northern
Waltham's
Light
a
is-
hike.
is
and-
first on everything, and then we fall second in 8 out of 17 of the towns.
Well, do we just listen to a scanner and go?
No, EMS calls us, 911
Dispatch.
dispatch calls us out. Northern Light will say they don't have a rig available, and it's tone out who to see who's available. And sometimes when we're not available,
You just go out anywhere?
excuse me?
That's what we were talking about. Sometimes
During
that
the
does
day.
happen.
Mhm.
If they go to a call, do we automatically send our truck too?
No, if Northern Light's available, they go, it's that, and that's it. But if Northern Light's not available, then they'll call for backup. And if we're not available, you'll see on the third, they'll call Scoot, they'll call whoever else.
But it has happened.
just
that
wanna-
Both show up, and then Northern Light, we
I
said,
just wanna make sure we don't have 3 ambulances showing up at one house and everybody's trying to get
And,
paid.
and that's why the thing about that, if Sullivan was called and Northern Light just happens to show up, no, it's Sullivan's call, they transport.
yeah,
Because then you get the money back
but
on
you
it.
only get paid if you transport. You show up, you don't get paid.
But there was a time when Sullivan would show up for whatever reason, they were called to show up, and then Northern Light would show up afterwards and be like, oh, no, we'll take it. And you were kind of like, oh, okay, and they would take it. Now it's no way. Sullivan's there, Sullivan takes the call. You showed up first, you take the call. So that was something that had to come from their management, so to
Mhm.
speak.
Well, it's good they're finally discussing that.
It takes a lot to get that.
Mhm.
To get the meeting that presented that took 3 months. And that
Yeah,
was a month.
They kept working on it.
That acknowledgement is a month after we had the meeting. So we'll see where we go from here.
Anything else in town manager report?
That's it.
Committee reports. We gotta get committees in here.
Parks and Rec made a submission. Page Friendly made a submission. What happened with Parks and?
Did you just look at this, or did you wanna?
We don't have any questions.
Okay.
Parks and Rec was going to be here. Parks and Rec was going to be here, but they had a end of season football game. So last minute pulled out. No. Grandson's playing football.
Vaccine clinic was tomorrow, right?
Hold on, we did it last week.
I have an appointment for Wednesday.
Yeah, it's last week, we had.
Yeah, last week.
People.
Last
last
Wednesday.
week.
Missed it.
Fortunate that, they showed up with, because it was always supposed to be a flu vaccine clinic, but they actually came with 21, COVID, so we were able to use COVID for all of us, which was wonderful.
I think the confusion was, she said next Wednesday when she called me, and I was thinking
The following Wednesday. Yeah,
exactly.
you skip, yeah.
I was thinking it was this Wednesday.
I think I actually took your slot because I was later in the day.
Vaccinated? Oh, 'cause she thought she had flu last year, that's a lot of good vaccine.
So she and Candy were vaccinated before the day. She got the COVID.
Well, you guys have been really busy.
Yeah, if this pickleball court thing goes, I mean, I would go out and try to get, staff volunteered like the pavement. And I'm sure we could get it all of it for nothing, I'm almost betting on.
That's the analysis I need to do. That's a project.
I'm sure Northeast will donate the mix and just a matter of finding someone to, if we go with asphalt.
We just need to look at our location options.
Yeah.
Look at the pros and cons of each one of them, and then move on that. So that's a person direct thing, so
Yeah.
put my head around here.
Because now I would go around and see if we can get it donated.
Oh, that'd be great.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll team you on some of that.
Yeah.
Look at that, Mike, those pictures of the clam stuff, did you need those back or? Okay.
No, David will stuff that, so she can put them in.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
So we're not here to ask questions. But I was kind of wondering, like, now that the gazebo is all painted and everything, like, what the cost ended up being with that.
Oh, you had the grant. And it went
Right,
within the
I
grant.
know, but I was just
Yeah,
kind of curious.
it came, I think it was a $10,000 grant. He floated within like $200 of the grant.
Nice. And then is the weather vane going back up?
Yeah, the main piece of the weather, when the weather vane was put back together, when it was repaired, the main shaft won't come apart. So I'm gonna try and drill out the old shaft. Like
Mhm.
there was the bracket and the main shaft was sunk into it
Mhm.
at such a depth, you can't get it out to put the old piece on. So I cut it down and it's still in. I drilled in about this much and I still haven't gone through it. So
Cool stuff.
gonna require a little more of an effort. That's right. It's all prepped for it to go back on.
Great.
Got to get it under a drill press.
All right, moving on to public comment. Yes,
This is something that just came up, maybe we could put it on the agenda for a future meeting, but the town doesn't have a personnel expense policy. And we really think.
There is a purchasing policy.
Per diem type thing, and all that.
It's just an overall purchasing policy that doesn't get into the nitty gritty of that.
right, it's just kind of a generalized.
Yeah, it's an overall. This is one that was approved. Oh, when was this? Oh, I had it up here. This was approved back in October 24.
Some representative of the training, well, there should be a limit on what the daily expenditure is.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was something that never came in, but that's a good idea. Yeah, that's a good idea.
Sangria, excuse me.
That's just part of it.
Well, there are various ones we could pick and choose from if we
Mhm.
need more detail and
Mhm.
I'll volunteer.
Well, that
if
was
you
just
guys-
alcohol,
So it's-
decide that that's something we need to put in place.
No, but a per diem thing and what's allowed and stuff, but this does not get into that. But yeah, we can certainly,
Revamp that,
we'll add to it.
exactly.
Not so much revamp that, but add
Mhm.
a section two.
Yeah, and then research all the stuff, but anyway, I'd be happy to help you guys. if you
Yeah,
wanna put something
I
like that
think,
in place.
yeah, that's a great idea.
But I'm gonna bring it up on. You gotta vote on it.
We'll just put it on the agenda and then we'll vote on it then. All right, board comment?
There we go.
There's a fire call. Sorry. Oh,
5 minutes left? Holy shit. Greg.
Yeah.
Quit saying shit to people,
What am I saying?
because after the last meeting, the next morning, all the trucks are coming. Let me finish.
No, oh, go ahead.
All the trucks are coming by my house honking in the morning, start at 5:55.
There's a Zoom meeting. Anybody can listen to this meeting, and I talked to.
Can
Paul.
you?
Paul, you said.
while it's
Paul was-
live, yes.
Site needs to be better laid out than what it is, because there's no search engine on there to find anything.
I called Paul Martin to see if he was going, he said, I go by there 27 miles an hour, and he said, in 5:30 in the morning, he says, I'm still in bed. So it wasn't Paul Martin.
Okay.
Well, I don't know who it
No, I
was.
know who it was.
So
It
you
was
said
Dan
Paul, you
Curvis.
said
It
Martin.
was Dan Curvis.
Okay, well, I don't know, but
I
I'm
don't
not saying
he's
him,
out of Franklin. I don't know why the hell.
but you said Martin. And I called
Mhm.
Paul,
Well, that was because the next truck that came by was his.
yeah, and he says he goes by there 27 miles an hour, and he don't beat the horn.
Yes, he does.
Well, he told me that,
Lied to you.
whatever,
But
but I'm
that's
not,
what I'm saying.
talking shit about you,
Okay.
nothing.
All right. I
I'm
just
just
want
trying
to
to
make
find out
sure.
who it
Because
is.
the last time you told me you did
Did what?
on
On the
Cashley.
shoots, on the shoot, yeah, because
Yeah.
I was trying to find out if he was.
All right.
I mean, you brought it up, so I'm trying to find out if
Right.
he was.
And that's all I told you.
Okay,
That was
okay.
your guys' responsibility.
Right.
You brought my
Well, I'm
name into
supposed to
it.
investigate it, aren't I?
Right.
Okay, so I did.
Did you find anything?
Well, I told him what you said, and he.
No, he came up to my house.
Right.
He's the only one that's been,
Right, but Paul said he don't even go by there at 5:30 in the morning, so I'm not saying
it was
anything,
5:55.
well, whatever, but he don't go by there till probably after 7.
Because I emailed Ray about
Yeah, and I asked him, and we called Paul, and we said, are any Martin trucks look like what you described? None of them do.
it. Okay. Now, you guys seem to like to fight me on everything. So I've been reading more. I've read this comp plan. I've read the budget, line item, gone through it all. And where are you guys coming up with this fantasy dream of our town to have this new town office with an elaborate fire station and all this other stuff? Where are you gonna get the money from?
Well, hopefully
The-
grants on the.
My taxes have gone up double in 10 years, okay? It can't go double in 10 years again because my house payment will be, the majority of it will be taxes.
Oh, I know, my valuation went up $100,000.
So what are we doing about it?
Well, hopefully.
We're talking about spending more money even right now. We're not taking care of our roads, I mean, right up the Tunk Lake Road, trees growing in.
That's a state aid road, all the way to the railroad tracks.
But why aren't you guys harassing them?
It's,
Why?
you know, the state, they're about
No, I
as
don't.
lax as they come.
Well, I know, yeah. I ended up having to clean that tree they cut down because they wouldn't come back and clean it.
Right, well, that's the state for you.
The comp plan is just an idea of where the town wants to go. It's not, this is what we're doing. It's an idea, a
okay.
guideline. It's
So the
nothing.
comp plan was telling me that I had to wait 9 years now to do what I wanted to do. Right? 9 years now,
I don't think that's.
since 2017. 8 years, going on 9.
Where did it say that?
Huh?
Where did it say that?
I've been told all along, I can't do what I want to do until the comp plan has been voted on and improved.
What do you mean do?
Hmm?
You can make improvements on your house anytime you
No,
want.
no.
No, he's talking about his
I'm
business.
talking about,
Oh, your business. Oh,
yeah. So you made me wait 8 years now,
No,
and I read the comp plan.
you were told that because a select board member thought that we needed to finish that to make ordinances that would comply with that. That's why you were told that. But right now, we don't.
Well,
have
now this
ordinance.
comp plan also talks about people building houses and doing all this other stuff too.
Like certain zoning areas for
Yeah.
this, that, and the other thing. Yeah.
But Kim Walsh can come in here and buy that property and instantly put 3 cabins on there that she's gonna rent.
But that was
That would have to
subdivided, that
go
was a whole
before the board.
subdivision with lots approved.
How?
It what, before she bought it, way before she bought it,
Huh?
way before she bought it.
Right, the girl.
When she bought it, it was already established as a subdivision.
Right.
With,
What
and is,
one down from her was,
No.
not that one, that
No,
was all.
hers. hers was,
Listed.
hers was the,
Whatever million.
yes, but with it, but that was a whole subdivision that was approved well before she purchased it. And there are more lots on there than she has developed.
Right, Mike Emmons subdivided that when he sold that to the girls and Kit and
It
Bree.
just seems like a way to get around the comp plan.
But you do
And
know,
everybody keeps telling me I gotta wait on the comp plan so you can do this, what's it called again? The
ordinance,
ordinance.
right?
So so how many ordinances
Sure.
now are waiting on this comp plan?
But right now, we
Hold on.
don't have an ordinance.
How, there's no ordinances?
There's no ordinance for what you want to do.
There should be a lot of ordinances.
There should be, and they're in the works, but right now we don't have them. So right now you're free to follow state law. If you're following what I'm saying,
Okay,
because we don't have an ordinance on it, so there is no prohibition on it right now.
who's gonna sit down and explain the budget to me?
I can do that.
There you go. He was on budget committee.
All right,
Yeah, the thing.
I see several things. I went over that line item by line item by line item very carefully. Now, I'm an intelligent man, but I'm not an accountant. But I see some really strange things in there, I'll put it that way.
Yeah, my suggestion, Jerry, is we're looking for people on the budget committee to join the budget committee next spring when it's open. You can have input on this.
Yeah. Well, I'd like to do that.
Yeah, I sat down with Ray, went over it line item by line item, and the biggest thing that hit was, of course, that our taxes and so forth, the school district eats up over 80% of it.
Oh, I know,
We have no. control.
63%.
We have no control over it unless you go to the school board meetings and get that budget. Yeah, but the amount that the town had, the goal was to have 0 or less than 1% increase. Right. And that's what they came up with, and yeah, and there's always stuff we can nickel and dime on the thing,
There he said.
but it's, it's, we could take out 15 items and it doesn't make any difference in the long run. So anyway, we can go over it, yeah.
Also, I believe the appropriate time to really give input to the budget is when the public hearing is.
Yeah.
For it, and when we vote on it, because they go through line by line by line by line, so that would be really.
I
be the
used
time-
that one this year.
Yeah, that would be the time to amend it. I don't think they have the ability to do a lot of amendment to the overall budget,
yeah, we can't
except
change
that
it, yeah.
time.
Yeah.
So that, that's when that gets set.
And I still have, the last question I have, I want to ask this one more time. Who is the one that proposed that fire and EMS chiefs get $5,000 more a year each? Who is the one that says, I suggest, I want to make this perfectly clear on here, because you avoided it last time. I want to know who said, I suggest that our police chief and our EMS chief get $5,000 more a year.
It was presented to the board for
By?
inclusion in the warrant
By,
by EMS and fire department
there you go.
as part of
Thank
their
you. That's
budget.
all I wanted to hear.
As part of their budget, we said, okay, we'll put it in the warrant, and then it went to town meeting. And the town people approved it.
Okay. You remember what I said at the beginning of the month, what the other chiefs around here meant?
Mhm.
I told them all what
Right.
you're
and-
paying
and
them now.
Town meeting would have been a perfect time to have mentioned that.
But how can you justify it? And you keep raising our taxes, man. And you're not doing it right. You're basing it on the value of my home where the guy across the
Whoa,
street
excuse
from
me.
me has a torn down home and he's gonna pay less.
That's how property taxes are based.
We'll find out.
A mill rate,
We're
if,
gonna find out.
if I tell you that the mill rate is 10%, It's 10% of the value.
That's
No, 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 no. No,
Ray,
no, no, no.
look at your
Do-
house, the
Do you want to
taxes.
listen or do you want to talk? If I tell you it's 10% of the value of something, if your value is 100,000 and someone's is 50,000, there is a difference. If you make an improvement and yours is now 150,000, still at 10%, it goes
You're
up.
answering my question.
It goes up by your actions. The more you improve it, the more you make it worth more, is the more you pay. That's how it works. You
That
get,
does
it's,
not make sense
it's a
that you
tax
can
upon
come
your
and
value.
Send somebody to my house to come in and walk around and see what I have. And then base my taxes off of that.
Did you invite them in? Because they don't have to come in.
No, they didn't come in.
Yeah.
They didn't
They
even
come in my
make
house.
porch.
So you'd like to have someone reevaluate it.
No, I want a real evaluation plan for the town that doesn't punish people for maintaining their homes.
That's the way the entire state works. It's not a Sullivan, it's not a Sullivan
Not
thing.
Until recently, we've never had anybody
Yes.
come up to our property until you were manager.
Oh, no, 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 no. Oh, contraire mon frere. That happened before I was hired.
Yeah,
Before I was hired.
Sullivan.
Yes,
Like
before
that.
I was hired.
yeah, it was the previous board before even I was on it had decided that the reeval was gonna happen.
Yeah,
And
that
before that, it hadn't happened for like, what, 20 years?
Yeah, 2008 was the time it happened before, 2006. Then it was 22. That's when it happened.
So that's why you didn't see it before. There wasn't a.
A big gap in
You just
between.
Threw a number out there. You just guessed.
No, they hired a firm and
Yeah.
the firm,
I don't remember anybody ever since I moved in there in 2012. Until a couple of years ago, anybody coming by my house to look
Yeah.
at it, measure it, anything.
right, you're
Because-
correct.
Before the last
There
one.
was nobody that did that.
No,
So you were guessing.
No, it was based on the last time it happened,
Right,
which
supposed to be
was,
evaluated every so often and. we-
Mhm.
Okay, well, when was the last time it was evaluated?
it was either 2006 or 2008.
Can help clear that up.
he was on the board.
Before we had an assessor for the town, and anytime you made an improvement, there was a building permit submitted.
Mhm.
When you submitted a building permit, we had the, and I can't remember his name right now, but he would come to my house because I was changing it from a dog house to a house. And he came down and he would
The
check.
guy with the fake badge on his shirt?
No,
No,
Oh,
Mm-mm.
he did it for the town for a lot of years, so
Yeah.
when you submitted your
That's
building
his name.
permit. He would come into the office and he would come to see what you did, and he would reevaluate what
was
your
it,
property value would be.
was it Bob Gingrich or whatever?
That's
Yeah.
exactly correct.
Yep.
Nice guy.
Very nice guy.
And he got done
yeah.
a while ago.
And he would do the
Yeah.
pickup work, and that's what it was. Based on what work was being done, that was the pickup work he'd do. So if you had a piece of vacant land and you put a house onto it, he'd come and visit and he'd do the assessment.
When we looked this to contract, and I was on the board at the time, when we looked to contract with somebody to do an evaluation for the town of Sullivan. Bob Gendrich couldn't do it him and his son do it together, and they couldn't do it for 2 or 3 years. And we were already so far behind the curve, so we ended up hiring somebody else to do it,
Clarity.
right? That's how we ended up where we're at,
Right, now the state firm that
That was,
thinks we're.
but we couldn't find anybody in the state to do it, was the problem.
Right.
okay. I make a motion to move to executive session.
Second.
All in favor? We're gonna enter into executive session pursuant to 1 MRSA 4056A to discuss personal records.
Okay, so we are back. All right, so we're back.
3 years old.
Okay, go back online.
All right, we are back from our executive session. I make a motion that we approve the time off request.
Second.
All in favor? All right, motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
All right. Good night, Irene.